Okay, I'm going to show you how to start a fire. First of all, we need to smooth out the ashes in the bottom. Don't worry about getting your hands dirty, because they will get dirty. Alright, and then to start off, we're going to take 2 sticks of about 1 inch in diameter thickness, lay them parallel to each other, and this is going to be the main structure. We don't want them to be too big because we want the space between what we're going to put on top and the ground to be pretty small so we can save the heat that develops. We're going to take a couple of sticks that are about the width of a thick pencil and put these across the top. And the area that we're going to be starting the fire in is pretty small here. We're going to be focusing on this little area because fire goes up and not out, so we only need to worry about getting it started right in a little small area and building up. I've gathered a bunch of small tinder. This is going to be the first thing to start with. This is going to be what the match lights and starts the first fire. It's important to have dry twigs that snap when you break them off. And when we get up to about this size, this is going to be too big to start with, but we can use this for later. We'll set that aside. So if we're going to be really careful, if say it was raining or your wood is wet, then you want to be incredibly intentional about how you set the tinder, and we're just going to go make a crisscross pattern. And again, this is about, this might be even too big. You don't want anything bigger than this, definitely. I'm going to set that aside too, and this whole thing. We can start putting them crossways. Luckily the sticks we have today are pretty dry, so we don't have to be quite as careful, but I am going to be careful just to show how to do it intentionally. And given the dry sticks, I could probably put a match to this and it would start up right away. But just for the worst case scenario, when you have to really break it down, maybe you're on your last match and you have to make sure that it's going to work, you want to be pretty careful that it starts when you want it to start. So again, I'm focusing on a pretty small area and just crisscrossing that up to keep, I want to keep a lot of the air in between so that the flames can build on each other and not just turn into just one thick mass of wood that needs to be burned, because that would defeat the purpose. Okay. I do have a bunch of this pre-gathered that I have on hand. I don't want to use a lot of leaves or pine needles, and even though those will go up in flames pretty quickly, they're not going to produce a lasting heat that's going to start other sticks on fire. It's just going to turn into ashes that end up going to smothering your fire or going out right away. I got a good mix of crisscross here. I'm leaving a little space open here at the front. This is where I'm going to put the match in. When we're ready to light it, I'm going to put it right under here. So I'm going to dig out a little entryway there. And when you're building your fire, you just got to keep in mind that the heat is going to go up. It's not going to spread sideways like a fuse or something. So anything that you add on to it is going to be over the top and not adding onto the side. And when you light it, you don't want to light it from over here and expect it to travel along and light it up. You want to get it as deep under the middle as possible. Alright, I'm going to put a bunch on the top here. And you want to have a good amount, but not too much that it's going to smother the fire right away. I'm going to keep extra amount handy nearby so that I can add to it as the fire grows and put it in the right place. Now I've got some strike-on box matches here, and I think we're ready to light. So I'm going to light it on the box. It's not a windy day, so you don't have to worry about that. And I'm just going to make sure that I can get it in here and hold it up at an angle, so a slight angle, so that the fire will travel up the match to keep consuming the match. If I hold it up like this, the flame is just going to burn itself out, and I'll have to light another one. If I want it to keep it burning, I'll light it like this. If I do it too much, it's going to burn too fast and burn my fingers, so just a slight downward angle. And I'm going to keep it as close to the center of my pile as I can. So here we go. And I'm just going to keep it in one place for as long as I can. And that means as the flame travels up the match, I'm going to actually push the match forward slightly just so that it keeps in the same spot. And it's really dry wood, so it's catching really well. I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to put the matches in a safe place so they don't start on fire also. Alright. Now, it's got a good flame right away, so I'm going to start adding some of the bigger sticks that I set aside before. Got these guys up here. And I'm just going to lay them across in a way so that air gets underneath. And that's going up pretty quickly. I've got this big extra bundle. I've got spare wood. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on there at a time, just because I know that it's gonna go up. The trick is to make sure that there's a lot of air underneath, and that when you have good flames, you want to add to it. So I'm gonna go to the next level and go with the pencil-sized sticks, and I'm gonna add these on as well. And this is going really fast, a lot faster than it should be. At this point, the flames are not super hot, but hot enough to be. We need to be pretty careful here. I'm gonna just throw stuff on there. All right, it's still not hot enough to burn big logs. So we're going to slowly graduate to bigger sticks. Now we've got our marker size sticks, and I'm going to lay these across. Trying to make sure I'm not going to crush the fire, keep a lot of air inside. Now we're starting to get to the classic campfire style. And you know what, I'm going to even throw this bigger one. It's like one of the original 1-inch diameter sizes in there. I've got this one, it's pretty big. And I'll throw that in there too. Now if the goal is to eventually burn some big logs like this is going to be, it might be about ready right now, but we're going to kind of work up to it. You want to blend it kind of like you're painting. So I've got some split wood that we can put on it. And split wood is always good, especially when you have wet wood or it's raining. You can split the wood, and then the wood on the inside, unless it's been raining for days, it's going to be pretty dry. So you can add that on, and that's going to be a good addition. Okay, got a crushed my fire there, but it should keep going. And if you put on too much, that's not a problem. You can always go back and you can put on smaller sticks that you had before. So if I go back to the marker size sticks, put those on. You know, I even have a bunch of tinder left, or small kindling size stuff. I can just throw that on top, and that's gonna flame up real quick, make a big. It's gonna make a lot of heat really quick, and then it's gonna be gone. But it's a good way to get bigger sticks started. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put a lot of other of my larger sticks on here. Got a little teepee style campfire going here. The general goal is just to keep air inside and put wood over where the flames are. Eventually we'll build up a good base of coals that we can actually burn some larger wood. Here's another split piece of wood. I'm going to throw that on there. More split wood. It's going great now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and add the big log now. I'm going to try not to crush the fire, just kind of lean it up against. So I'm not just chunking it on top there, I'm leaning it up so that it can get a lot of air to it. And at this point, you've got a good roaring fire. You can put pretty much anything on it that you want. Congratulations, you've built a campfire.